Grandma died 2 months ago, left me $800,000 inheritance. I'm only a junior in college as a math major, and I don't really have any use for the money, nor do I have any debt. I'm very fortunate that my parents are paying for my education. I always heard about people losing their inheritance by spending it on garbage instead of investing. So I told my parents I'm not going to spend a cent of this money, and I'm going to invest all of it, and they were proud of me. I put $100K into a high-yield savings account and bought $700K worth of Intel stock at market open. I plan on holding this for a decade depending on how it performs. Here's why I like Intel. 2024 Q1 up 9% YOY. Intel has been heavily investing and restructuring by building out the domestic foundry business to manufacture semiconductor chips for third-party companies. With Intel 3 in production, leading-edge semiconductors are being manufactured in the US for the first time in a decade. Intel will regain process leadership as the Intel foundry continues to grow. I think the fact that Intel is positioning itself to be the largest semiconductor manufacturer in the US is massive. The US Gov is heavily prioritizing domestic semiconductor production, and thus is heavily supporting Intel as a company with R&D funding. If NVIDIA or AMD are ever forced to change manufacturers due to rising tensions/war between China and Taiwan, Intel will likely be a sole or largest manufacturer for NVIDIA and AMD. Intel has been heavily investing in R&D. 5.9 billion out of 12.7 billion of Q1 24 revenue was invested in R&D. Intel is on track to exceed its forecast of 40 million AI PCs shipped by the end of 2024. The Intel Gaudi 3 AI accelerator is projected to deliver 50% faster inference and 40% greater inference power efficiency than NVIDIA H100 on leading AI models, trading at forward PE of 17.05. Geopolitical tensions will ultimately work in Intel's favor more than any other company in this industry. I like the stock and I think it's really cheap. Aaron, smiley face. Top jokes on OP. And he's down 100K in 30 seconds LMAO. Turns out generational wealth is not so easy after all. Nana should have died 3 days later. 50 years of working overtime at Walmart to fund grandson's gambling habit. Update. Okay, I definitely picked the wrong day to buy Intel's 700K YOLO update. My plan going into this was to hold for a decade, and my plan hasn't changed. It's going to be rough, and I realize that. The past 2 days have been the scariest days of my life. My parents still don't know I've lost 1/3 of my inheritance. Every time I talk to them, they can see how stressed I look, and they keep asking me what's wrong, and I don't know what to say. How can I possibly explain this to them? My only option is to hold for a decade. So that's what I'm going to do. I know people are going to shit on me, and you should. I recognize I made an unnecessarily regarded decision. I have received a lot of DMs and Reddit notifications offering me mental help and suicide hotline numbers. I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. I'm holding long term. I'm sorry if my decision made you upset, and reflect on your financial situation. That was not my intention. I appreciate all of your support and constructive criticism. Some of you have been really mean, but it's okay. I know I deserve it. But I'm holding. Forever. Intel will succeed. Top jokes on OP. Straight into WSB Hall of Fame. So glad I got to watch this live. Better than the fucking Olympics. Get this boy a medal. He is a mathematician, so I believe he is proving the 1,000-year-old all eggs in one basket theorem in his own way. He got a custom tag on this subreddit. Someone would have probably paid 200K for that. So he's net even? You chose the exact moment in time, with pinpoint accuracy, to receive a spectacular ass pounding. I can only call that skill. With shares nonetheless. He wasn't even trying gamble, lol. You unintentionally created some of the funniest shit on this sub. Your sacrifice will be remembered. Not to mention the creation of the funny shit cost him more than $200,000. I hope Grandma becomes a zombie and digs herself up out of her grave, just to find Opie and slap him upside the head. The original post had dozens of comments predicting Opie's demise hours before it occurred. The prophecies come true, and now he's still like, nah, not going to listen to these people. What bugs me with Opie is, he says he doesn't need money. Yet now he is stressed as fuck around his parents. What a lunatic. Can't tell if you're being serious or not, but damn. In their shoes, I'd also be stressed as fuck around my parents. Fucked up real bad. Doesn't want parents to know so they're not disappointed. OP, your dilemma might have turned me into a religious man, because only some sort of higher power could possibly have orchestrated all of this. First, did you even know it was earnings when you bought? You don't mention that at all in your initial post. Second, you were quite literally the only person on this entire planet who was 100% invested in Intel. How on earth did you manage to pick Intel of all the stocks on the planet? It must be the least sexy, most old man stock pick I've ever heard of. Then, by some divine intervention, you decide to post this position on WSB. Then, moments after you post, Intel proceeds to dump 25 to 30%, the worst drop in its 50-year history, returning the stock to its 1997 valuations. Were you even alive in 1997?